All right, let's see if I got everything set correctly. Am I visible? I am to me, but that means nothing. Can anyone hear me? I'm visible! Huzzah! All right. Hooray. Thank you. Thank you, What the Craft. All right. That's a quick bit of housekeeping. Got another new member to welcome on board, Lavender Lady, since we last congregated here together. So, welcome aboard, ma'am, and I hope you enjoy. Secondly, there's some poor masochistic soul out there who today started working their way through the back catalog in chronological order. Yes, chronological order, starting with In the Beginning from Bloody January. My. All right. Well, I believe that's all housekeeping I've got. So you know why you are here. You are ready for my live breakdown and review of Clive Barker's groundbreaking and immensely frustrating video game, JERICHO, originally released for the Xbox 360 and banned in Germany because of incredibly specific fascist... Sorry, the joke came to me a few minutes ago, and I couldn't let it go. I just saw somebody. It's Neil. Hello, Neil. Welcome aboard. And yes, it looks like a junk shop. It does indeed. All right. We are in the book of Joshua now, having left the Pentateuch mercifully behind. We've crossed over the River Jordan, and we are now crossing into the 4th chapter of the book of Joshua. Let's see what hijinks the children of Israel get up to now. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe take a man, and command ye them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where ye shall lodge this night. Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel out of every tribe a man, and Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Jordan, and take you up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according unto the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean ye by these stones? Then ye shall answer them, that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. And the children of Israel did so, as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, as the Lord spake unto Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over into the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests which bear the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there unto this day. For the priests which bear the ark stood in the midst of Jordan, until everything was finished that the Lord commanded Joshua to speak unto the people, according to all that Moses commanded Joshua, and the people hasted and passed over. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed over, that the ark of the Lord passed over, and the priests in the presence of the people. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. About 40,000 prepared for war passed over before the Lord unto battle to the plains of Jericho. On that day the Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moses all the days of his life. And the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Command the priests that bear the ark of the testimony, that they come up out of Jordan. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, Come ye up out of Jordan. And it came to pass, when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord were come up out of the midst of Jordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted up unto dry land, that the waters of Jordan returned unto their place, and flowed over all his banks as they did before. And the people came up out of Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped at Gilgal in the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan did Joshua pitch in Gilgal. And he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, When your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean these stones? Then ye shall let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of Jordan from before you, until ye were passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up before us, until we were gone over, that all the people of the earth might know the hand of the Lord, that it is mighty, and that ye might fear the Lord your God forever. Joshua 4. One of these days I'm going to learn my lesson about complaining about repetition in this book. Because every time I complain about the repetition in this book finds a way to top itself. That chapter, no longer than it was, repeated the same set of instructions repeated them 3, enumerated them 4 times. 12 rocks, out of the river, onto the land, tell your kids. And then, of course, the reminder that Gad and half of Manasseh and whichever the other one is that left all their women folk and their sheepses and cattleses and oxen and assen on the other side of the river, they're still coming through armed for war, 40,000 of them, for the children of Israel, because they cut a deal way back yonder, somewhere deep in the mists of time, that they were going to have the land on the other side of the river. And Moses said, well, fine, but you still got to come fight and help us conquer the far side of the river. Which they keep reminding us at every turn, because this is an oral tradition copied down at some point. And you've just got a house that Jack built that shit a little bit. All right, let me check in with the chat here and see what is going on. Oh, yes, what the craft plug in the Discord, because I haven't figured out how to put anything in the description of a live stream until after the live stream has already live streamed. So, there we go, good. Aha, Jojo, hello. We have atheist and witch. Neil says the children of Israel were very naughty today, so I sent them all to their rooms. That sounds about right. Have you drowned them? Yeah, no, nobody's actually been killed in quite some time. Though we're going to remedy that, I suspect, in the next chapter, since we're now over into the promised land. Tech gremlins. Yep. Okay, well, we seem to be reestablished. Great expression on his face. Oh yeah, trust me, if this thing crashes, it's always going to catch me with a great. All right, well, we'll try this again. Joshua 5. Yeah, someone fiddle with the rabbit ears. Right. Yeah. I left my aluminum foil downstairs. Silly, silly me. All right, we'll try this again. Joshua 5. And it came to pass, when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel until we were passed over. Until we were passed over. That their heart melted, neither was their spirit in them any more because of the children of Israel. At that time the Lord said unto Joshua, Make thee sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time. And Joshua made him sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Israel at the hill of the foreskins. And this is the cause why I did circumcise. All the people that came out of Egypt that were males, even all the men of war, died in the wilderness by the way after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the way as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised. For the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not shew them the land which the Lord sware unto their fathers, that he would give us, a land that floweth with milk and honey. And their children, whom he raised up in their stead, them Joshua circumcised, for they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the way. And it came to pass, when they had done circumcising all the people, that they abode in their places in the camp till they were whole. And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal, and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at even in the plains of Jericho. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the selfsame day. And the manna ceased on the morrow after they had eaten of the old corn of the land, neither had the children of Israel manna any more, but they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. And it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us, or for our adversaries? And he said, Nay, but as captain of the host of the Lord am I now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and did worship, and said unto him, What saith my Lord unto his servant? And the captain of the Lord's host said unto Joshua, Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so. And that incredibly weird bit of weirdness is the 5th chapter of Joshua, of which yours truly has absolutely no recollection. Strangely enough, the hill of foreskins and the second great circumcision didn't make it into the Methodist Sunday school curriculum back in the 90s. Fancy that. Okay. Well, for once, Circumcised. Yeah, yeah. Oh, good. We're going to have a nice, good conversation about circumcision now. Yeah, for once, I'm glad that this book likes to explain shit so darn much. Because when I first read the line, as I'm sure it showed on my face, when it said he circumcised them a second time, and I'm just compelled to assume that's a shitty translation moment. Okay? Because what that means in English is that Joshua made him sharp knives and took them to the no-nos of people whose no-nos had already encountered the sharp knives once already. Which even by the standards of this book would be stupid. Oh. Ooh. Just a bit off the top. Boo. Boo, I say. Boo. Okay, but so then it goes on to explain in this chapter. I'm back slow, but I'm back. Okay, all right. Yes. Yes. Conspiracy. Yes, we're big fans here in the library. So anyway, what was I talking? Oh, yes. Skins and the second circumcision. How silly of me. How could I have forgotten? Well, in this strange chapter in which we've for some reason moved from the third person into the second person plural for no readily discernible reason, it then goes on to explain that what they mean by circumcise the children of Israel a second time is not to bring in the wilderness. God did not provide them any surgical gear. Which, if you think about it, is damn strange. Okay? Because this God is right obsessed with the state of his people's no-nos. And the conspiracy's got to head work. Thanks for stopping by. Take care, and we'll see you again. Have a good night or day, wherever you are at work, man. Take care. Okay, but there's been this thing that's been repeated a couple of times about the sojourn in the wilderness, which is that their shoes didn't wear out, and neither did their clothes, because of Yahweh magic. Now, if Yahweh could Yahweh magic not wearing out the shoes of people who were trekking through the burning-ass desert, TM, for 40 some odd years, why did he not make some provision for this apparently so dreadfully important condition of the no-nos surgery that he's so hung up on? But no, apparently not. So, the generation that came out of Egypt had been circumcised. They all died off. The new generation came up, wandered through the desert for a while, crossed over the promised land, and then Joshua turns to everybody and says, I have received word from the Lord. And the people say, oh, really? What saith the Lord this time? Because the last time it was kind of weird. We had to stay a football field's radius away from God's magic dildo chest, while the water disappeared further than that, and then we all walked through on dry land across this crappy little river. So now that and then we had to pick up rocks. So what weirdness saith the Lord now? And Joshua says, well, this might not be as much fun. So then they encamped there at Gilgal until they were whole. And then they feasted the feast of Passover. Yeah. Joshua 5. Weird fucking book. I can't help wonder what's the ancient Hebrew for the hill of foreskins that they decided to call this place where they circumcised 40,000 men of war, and wonder if that has passed down in the vernacular, if it survived at all, if there's some area along the banks of the Jordan where if you could trace the etymology back far enough, it eventually, instead of being, the Mount of Olives or something, originally was the Hill of the Force. In theory, right? If we were made in God's image, unless it was just something he invented on the spur of the moment and added on when he made the little doll for the golem spell. All right. I am sore tempted, because honestly, I didn't know about the second great mass circumcision, and I kind of wanted to do the Battle of Jericho. So unless there's great outcry against it, I think I'm going to turn to chapter 6. Anybody for chapter 6? The Hill of Foreskins would be a pretty impactful image. Jojo says, yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, nobody's ranting and raging against moving into chapter 6. So I'm going to do chapter 6. And if you're bored of me, you can always, bounce out. Catch the last half hour of the stream over at KG Tropicals, whatever. 6. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out, and none came in. And the Lord said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns, and the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow on the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, yes, of the trumpet, that's just a bit of bad ink. The sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests, and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord. And he said unto the people, Pass on, and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before the Lord, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. And the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets, and the reward came after the ark, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then shall ye shout. So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And 7 priests bearing... Oh, surely not. Seven priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them, but the reward came after the ark of the Lord, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. Okay, well, thank goodness for that. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed. Yet when ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and trouble it. But all the silver and gold, and vessels of brass and iron, are consecrated unto the Lord. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword. But Joshua had said unto the 2 men that had spied out the country, Go into the harlot's house, and bring out thence the woman and all that she hath, as ye swear unto her. And the young men that were spies went in, and brought out Rahab, and her father, and her mother, and her brethren, and all that she had, and they brought out all her kindred, and left them without the camp of Israel. And they burnt the city with fire, and all that was therein. Only the silver and the gold, and the vessels of brass and of iron, they put into the treasury of the house of the Lord.
And Neil and What the Craft, and you're all amazing, and sorry. Okay, this guy. Going away.
Oh, my poor unstable connection. What doest thou? I am returned, I think. Okay. That's more like it, isn't it? That's more the Old Testament that we mean when we say go Old Testament. Knock down the city, burn it with fire, kill all the men, the women, the boys, the girls, the old ones, the young ones, the oxes, the asses, everything, burn it all with fire, take the valuables and give them to the priests. And save the harlot. This book is so strange. So very strange, this book. You know, oh, I was thinking about this earlier. I wanted to make sure and tell y'all this. When I was a kid, Sunday school and vacation Bible school and all that kind of religious-y, indoctrination-y crap, that went over well. All right, so Rahab the harlot is spared, along with her entire family and everything she owns. They take everything valuable that's not an idol, you notice, not the accursed thing. Oh, What the Craft, plug in the Discord again. Thank you so much. Awesome. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the walls I've been talking about. Yeah, seriously, right? Ever since I realized we were going to be doing the Battle of Jericho tonight, I've had at least 3 versions of song versions of this thing stuck in my head all day long. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Sacrificial commandment. Oh, yeah. No, Joe, you are absolutely right. It's very convenient that these books written down by the priestly class seem to demand that so much valuable stuff be given to the priestly class, whose only responsibilities seem to be to kill sacrificial animals, eat sacrificial animals, and wave the wave offerings. Oh, my. Hashtag tax the church. I am not even kidding. I am in favor of this. Hell, just tax the Mormons. We'd fund every social justice program we'd ever want if we just taxed the Mormons. But of course, that wouldn't be fair because we need to tax all of them immediately, if not sooner, retroactively, if possible. All right. Well, I feel myself drifting toward the rambling place, and I'm afraid of losing the connection again. So, we're going to call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us through the technological snafus and foobars and other such craziness and tedium. We'll be back on Tuesday. We may try this format again because as much, but I didn't remember the hill of the second circumcision that came just before it, and I don't remember what happened just after. So we will learn together. Until then, everybody take care, be safe, stand against hate, and stay out of the drama. Oh, my poor long-suffering machine. My poor, long-suffering machine. All right. We're going to call it here. My poor device. Thank you all for coming. Take care, be safe, stand against hate. Bye now.